Quite often when we create designs, we want to be able to present them in such a way that somebody else could make that design. And we do this by creating drawings. Now, we've got an example of a design here, my toothbrush holder. This is the first time we're actually going to leave the design workspace and we're going to go into the drawing workspace. So we go, click on design, go down here to drawing from design. So I'm going to use this design as a basis for the drawing I want to create. Now I can decide on the size piece of paper I want, the units, etc. I'll stick with A3 at the moment, and I just click on OK here. And this will take a few seconds, but immediately it goes into a new window and it creates a new drawing for me. And you can see it's got the name of my file here, it's got my name and the date it's created. Now this view that I've got following my mouse around, my cursor around, is what's called a base view. So normally what I do is I've got the orientation as the front here, and normally I place my base view in the center there. Now depending on the size of the paper, I may want to change the scale, and we'll talk about scales at a later point. I may need to make it smaller, or I may need to make it bigger. At this point in time, 1 to 2 is a good size scale there. And once I'm happy with that, I click on OK. And then my first part of my drawing is down there. Now, as you'll be aware of from the orthogonal drawings you've done previously, I can create different views based on this view here. So I go up to the left and I create a projected view, click there, and the first thing I need to do is select what's called the parent view. So it's the view that all the other views are going to be based upon. So I click on this one, and then I simply move the cursor out to the left and tap. Move it out to the right, tap, move it downwards, tap, and move it upwards. And once I'm happy, let's press enter. Now, what you can see is I've got the different views from all the different angles of my drawing there. Now, what I could do, if I needed to, or if I wanted to, is I could actually create an isometric view as well. Okay, but that's not going to be necessary for this exercise, but that would be an option for me. From here, I then use this dimension function, which we've used in the past, and I might go from here to here, and I can start to take measurements and show measurements on my design. So for example, if I wanted to know what the radius was on here, I could click there and it tells me the radius is 20. Oops. Let's try that again. Sorry. And one more time, let's try that again. There we go. So I can use this to help me dimension all the different parts, all the different objects within my drawing. So for example here, I can see that the diameter of that is 30. Here, I can see the radius is 30. So all these different dimensions I can put onto my drawing, which will be relevant to help somebody else create my design. Okay, so create a drawing, add some dimensions which you think will help somebody else if they wanted to try and make your design, and then when you're done, click on save and save it to your toothbrush holder area on your projects folder. Now if you've done that and you're all happy, the final thing you can do is, if you wanted to print out, for example, you could output a PDF. Okay, and that would be a printable file which you could then output and have a look at separately. Okay, have a go at that, and when you're done, move on to the next task.